Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to River Lore Tours. My name is Eric. I'm your guide today. Today we're going to talk about bird identification and common birds that we'll find here in the Chesapeake Bay area. But let's take a little closer to home first. Who at home has a bird feeder or has ever had one? Cool. Does everybody know what a blue jay looks like? About a male cardinal. Yeah. So if you got a blue jay and a male cardinal come into your feeder at the same time, how do you know which one is which? This is your softball question for the day.
Blue versus red.
I would argue that the blue jay is blue
Yeah.
and the male cardinal is red, right? But when you think about it, those two birds have very similar shapes, similar size. They might hold their tail a little differently. The tuft of feathers on their head might be a little different. But if you're getting them from silhouette, sometimes it's hard to distinguish the two, right? So what other ways other than color can we use to identify birds?
Their calls?
The beak,
Sounds? Yeah.
Sound
their
is
calls
call,
or whatever,
yep.
yeah.
Shape and size.
shape, size. Yep, any others? Maybe even habitat or where we are, right? I mean, we might get some accidentals in this area,
Yeah.
but we don't expect anything from Siberia to be coming through here. So that will narrow down the list of what we might be looking at, right? So let's talk about some of the more common birds and how we might identify them through their characteristics. So we're talking about wing shape and size. We're talking about their wing beating patterns. We'll talk about where they're flying, whether they're up high in the sky, tree level, down at the ground, or closer to the ground or water, that sort of thing. I always like to start with the big ones, the ones that I like to see the most. So we got the broad wing birds like the bald eagles, as well as the vultures, great blue herons, and osprey. So let's talk about some of the differences there as far as what we see. Because I always look up, I see a nice big black silhouette up there. I can't tell really what it is, can't see that white head of the bald eagle. I want it to be an eagle so badly, right? I grew up in the 70s when they were still coming back, and I still get thrilled every time I see a bald eagle. But is it? So what we're looking for the bald eagle is big, broad wings, but they lie flat when they're flying. Okay? They'll do very purposeful kind of flaps. They might glide a little bit, but when they're soaring, it's usually to gain altitude in the air currents, or they're going someplace. Okay? But the distinguishing thing there is the position of their wings. Often confused with the vultures from afar. Okay, and the thing with the vultures, we'll keep it easy. V is for vulture, right? They hold their wings at an angle. And I'm going to geek out on you, and this is the nerdiest thing that you're going to hear today. Okay, does anybody know what this is called? Dihedral. You're my hero. Awesome. What does dihedral do?
Does it have to do with wind resistance, cutting through the wind easier? I don't know.
Close, sort of. It's okay. Here's the nerdiest part. It is lateral stability about its longitudinal axis. Okay, this is the lateral stability, and the longitudinal axis is nose to tail of the bird. Okay, so as the vultures are flying, they are usually down a little lower to the ground. They're getting caught up by these rising currents mixed up with the ground or the asphalt. Very turbulent air. They will not have to beat their wings for a long time. They are very efficient soarers. But what they're able to do then is, as this wing gets knocked down with a puff of air, it creates a different angle of attack into the relative wind that airfoil is effectively going through. What that does is it creates more lift on this wing and raises it up. So one wing will dip, it gets that higher angle of attack, and it will right itself. So you see these vultures sort of do this all day long. That is natural, that's what they do, that's what they're designed for. Again, different from that straight wing of the bald eagle, which is geared towards that long cruising. Another favorite is the osprey. They sort of have this M-shaped. Often they'll look like they have a broad wing, but as you get a little closer, also that white flash from the bottom that you'll see. Ospreys are really, really cool because again, they always look like they're working. You know, bald eagles, they fly like they own the bay, and they do. Ospreys always just sort of look like we're working, flaps with a glide. The most unique thing, cool thing about them is that they'll also hover. They'll just sort of sit there over their prey before they dive in. They'll fold those wings back and come down. Remember, they don't dive in bill first, right? They might dive down, but they're coming in with their talons. Same with the bald eagles. They'll be coming in with their talons. Another big broad-winged bird, the great blue herons. So the thing about the herons and the egrets, as they have those big wings flying, they've got the long necks, but they tuck their necks in as compared to ducks, geese, other waterfowl. And most of the other waterfowl, their legs are actually tucked up between their tails, whereas the herons and the egrets have the long legs sticking out. Let's talk about those talons. Versus the web feet, let's say, of the shorebirds and whatnot. As the eagles come down and grab their prey, and the osprey come, they'll often turn that fish into the wind, right? It makes it easier for them to carry it. How do they not let go of their fish? It's really kind of interesting, because you think that you're holding on to that it's going to squirm out of you, right? And it's going to be kind of hard to hold on to. Well, their biomechanics are actually opposite from ours, right? We have to hold and squeeze to hold on to something. Birds are the opposite. They actually flex closed. So as you see them flying, even you see all their talons are closed. And so as they grab something, they actually have to open up. They grab it, and then they're basically, their tendons work opposite from ours, and they close shut. That's why birds don't fall out of the trees. That's why they don't fall off the power lines, things like that, because they naturally shut closed.
Never knew that.
As far as web feet are concerned, why don't ducks and geese feet get cold? You'd think that they would get cold.
Counter currents.
Well, what keeps us warm, right? It's our blood.
Yeah.
They do have blood to their feet, but it's very, very small capillaries that
Yeah.
they have. So they keep some circulation in there, but yeah, they don't get cold feet like we do. Some of the other cool birds that we see out here are the terns and gulls. Terns are probably my favorite birds out here, just because they look cool. They just look aerodynamic. They are sort of the masters of the sky because they do it all. They flap, they soar, they dive, they swoop, they play with each other, they play with other boats. They just look like they're having fun out here. The interesting things with the terns, what I was going to say. Let's talk about the gulls then. So earlier when Bruce was giving his talk, we had a couple of black-headed gulls come over, and they started singing. It sounded like they were laughing. Anybody be able to identify what kind of gull that might have been?
Is that laughing gull?
Laughing gull, exactly right. So that's something to look for, the full
Yeah.
black-headed ones. We also have the ring-billed gulls, as well as the herring gulls. Herring gulls have the little red patch on them.
Little anecdote about the laughing gull is on Tangier they call them soft crab gulls
Okay.
because they come back at the end of the winter,
Oh, really?
right around the time soft crabs
Huh.
start
Cool.
shedding off.
Nice. We had some birds flying earlier, and of course my props have disappeared on them.
Yeah.
Because it'd be fun to sort of sit here and identify them. But that's really what I've got on just the easy identification of the more common birds and just things to think about as we go. You saw those houses, the bird houses as we were going up the creek. Those are for the purple martins. Oh, I know I was going to speak about the terns. They're more like sort of like the swallows of the,
Oh,
of
right.
the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the way
Yeah.
they fly.
Yeah.
That's what I was guessing.
Yeah.
So, any questions? Anything else you want to talk about?
I've got a question about pelicans.
Ooh, hey, you know what? I thank you for bringing them up because I would love to talk about them next. Go ahead.
So I've always heard that pelicans will, they dive, catch a fish. That as they get old, like they'll keep one eye closed because they'll go blind in their eyes from hitting the water over a lifetime. Is this not true at all? Is this
I've never even heard
now-
that.
Heard the
so-
same thing.
Yeah, I've heard from guys, it's like South Florida guys that talk about this, that as they get older, they'll keep an eye closed and they can keep hunting. And then once they go blind on this side, then they'll open up this one and use that.
That's like the old Marine sniper trick to keep an eye closed at nighttime, right? To maintain that night vision.
Right,
I don't
right.
know.
Okay, all right.
I haven't heard that
I've
one.
heard that,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if it's true.
Okay,
It
gotcha.
might be worth.
I kind of forgot about it until
Check it
right
out.
now. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, okay.
I was going to talk about cormorants and
Oh, yeah.
pelicans real quick. Again, they're flying characteristics as well.
Yeah.
Cormorants, they fly like they're late to something all the time. They are just
Yeah,
mad,
right.
mad, just on the ground or on the
Yeah.
over the water, skimming along.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you'll see spreading their wings out because they
Yeah.
are divers. They don't dive from the air. They will do it. They sit low in the water and then they do this wonderful kick over, and they can be underwater for quite some time
Yeah.
before they come up. Usually with their fish eating above the surface again. But the oils in their feathers have to dry out to keep them waterproof. So that's why they do their big spread. Same with the Aningas down in Florida.
Aningas,
and
yeah, right.
whatnot.
I've seen them do it.
The pelicans are cool because of the way they fly and the way they soar just above the water. That's called ground effect. And it basically the airflow of the over the wing causes that cushion, so they're able to cruise along very well. An easy way to tell which way the wind is blowing is that birds will generally take off and land into the wind. Same reason why airplanes do. It creates more lift over the wings. It's more efficient to take off, takes less energy, and you get shorter landing distances, shorter takeoff distances. So it's always good. You can always sort of tell a little bit what's going on with the birds around you. Any other questions?
Well, great.
Thanks, I learned some
Yeah.
things.
I
Didn't know.
So oyster catchers.
Yes.
Are they skimmers too? Like will you see them?
I don't think so.
Okay, I saw a bird look like an oyster catcher, and I was hoping you would be here today because I know you're a bird guy. But it looked like an oyster catcher, but he was, flying like that, like skimming.
So that's a black skimmer.
I was going
That's
to say
a
it's
black
actually a skimmer.
Oh,
so,
okay,
right.
it's a black skimmer.
And
Okay.
that's fascinating because they can dislocate their lower jaw
Yeah.
and hold it vertical.
Oh wow.
upper,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. It was really cool.
horizontal. And the minute and then that allows them to drag it through the water.
Yeah.
And the minute they touch a prey,
So here's a turn here. I love the aerodynamic shape of
Oh
the
yeah,
wings.
right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
yeah, they can snap it closed.
Okay.
So, and oyster catchers are, I don't know how to describe their flying. They're good
I
flyers.
honestly don't know them well. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's easy to
they're
get
not-
confused.
they're
Use
more
that orange
typical.
bill.
That's what
probably it
that's
is.
exactly what it was. That's what
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
And they're chatty when they fly.
Oh yeah, okay.
So when they fly,
really?
it's like
All right. Okay.
The skimmers have more of a longer call when they're flying.
Oh, okay.
Or they're quiet.
Okay.
And you'll see the plovers. I don't know much about the migratory birds, but the plovers often will flock,
Yeah.
whereas the pipers usually don't. They're more solitary.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a birding resource here. So
Yeah.
getting